Hey guys, it's Charles Austin here with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And I made a video before about the Strike V3, which was just released this year, a couple weeks ago. And one thing I didn't mention, sorry I have my back to you guys, but one thing I didn't mention in the video is that apart from this wing being amazing in all aspects, in the shape that they improved the design, they improved the materials, and they did essentially the right improvements in the right places to make this wing even better than its predecessor, the V2 Strike. Though, with that being said, there is one thing that I would want to mention to anyone who's getting this wing, is that it is way better in all aspects, though it is a little bit more maintenance intensive, I would say. And the right word wouldn't even be intensive, because it's not that intense. It's just how you fold up this wing will be important. So essentially how you care for it when you're not using it is gonna be important, just as you care for it when you are using it. So as you saw in my other video, the wing itself, instead of being a one pump, where you pump up just one part of the wing and then the whole wing pumps up, it's two different inflate sections. And essentially, you have the center strut that you have to inflate, and you have the leading edge that you have to inflate, as well as deflate. So here, we're gonna do some B-roll about it a little bit later, but it says inflate first, deflate second for the leading edge, and then the center strut says deflate first and inflate second. So now we're gonna be deflating it, and I want to do this video, even though it's very basic, in the sense that anyone who gets the Strike V3, in the bag, it reminds you on the instructions of how to properly care for it when you're wrapping it up. So I'm here on the beach. Most of the time you might be by yourself when you're riding, so you're gonna have to do this by yourself. So I deflated my center strut and it lost its air. Now I'm gonna have to deflate my leading edge. I'm gonna get here on my knees. All right. So back in the day, when I was wrapping up my Strike V2 or my Swing V2 or whatever wing, I would always just fold it in half and then start wrapping it up. Though, in this wing, I didn't go too in depth about all the technical improvements that they did, but there is one part of the wing which you can tell is a little bit of a thicker material, and it's called the load diffuser. But this piece right here, you want to take care of it. You don't want to be really wrapping it tight and sort of breaking it, because you can feel that it's not cardboard in it, maybe some sort of plastic, but it would almost feel like it has some rigidity and some structure of its own that you don't want to be bending and mistreating, essentially. So when you're wrapping up this wing, unless you have grass, it's probably going to be sandy most of the time, unless you can wrap it up nicely with somebody else in the air. So in any case here, I'm just gonna wrap this up. I want to show this because caring for your equipment is also a way of making sure your equipment lasts long and you get the best bang for your buck, let's say. If you just mistreat it and don't take care of it, then that's no good. So I'm just gonna put this right here so that holds it down, my old V2. I'm gonna wrap up this side. So I don't wanna roll it up too tight. I'm just sort of folding it on itself, making my way to the center. All right, and since it's dry, it's easier. But once I get to this point right here, and I'm at the center on both sides, what I wanna do is fold this 3 times. So I'm gonna fold this right here. Make sure to get it nice and small. I'm gonna fold it about 1/3 of the way. And then this piece, I'm just gonna pull it over. And you can tell it sort of just all comes over because it's all pretty rigid. And the rest I'll just fold it out under. I'll flip this around so you can see. But basically, this is the piece you want to protect once you're wrapping it up. So you can get all the way to the edge of the material and then just simply fold it up. And you can tell it wraps up a little bit bigger than the other ones, but it fits. So I'm just gonna try to get this in here. Got one side in, got the other side in. And even though you saw I wrapped it up pretty loosely, so it wasn't looking too tight, but I almost find that it's better to fold it up lightly so that you can protect the load diffuser, this panel essentially. And as I mentioned, once you get your wing, you're gonna realize the instructions here in the bag. And that was the first thing I noticed when I got this wing straight out of the bag. I was like, whoa, what is this panel here? And this panel is what helps get that rigidity in the wing without adding crazy weight and give it that extra performance. But with that being said, you have to care for it. So that's pretty much it, guys, of how to deflate and pack up your wing. Once it's here, then, you know, throw it in your car, hang it in your garage, do whatever. But you just want to remember, when you're wrapping it up, don't wrap it up like this, where it's all just sort of folded up, on itself, and just put it into a bag. Like this, you're gonna, if you have the new version, you're gonna damage it. On these ones, it doesn't really do that or have that effect. But either way, you want to be wrapping up your gear properly and storing it properly so that it doesn't get damaged. Sometimes this is just sort of an extra, but sometimes people ask, if it's wet, should I store it? Well, if you're gonna use it the next day or in the next 2 days and it's a little bit wet, it's not a big deal. You can set up your garage so that you can hang the wing and let it drip down the water. But in any case, if you are gonna store it for long periods of time, then of course, you're gonna wanna make sure that you properly dry your wing or your kite and then store it. But you never wanna leave it wet for long periods of time. And salt water is better than the fresh water because the fresh water will mold. So in any case, guys, my name is Charles Oslin with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete. And if you have any other questions, comments, thoughts, if you have a Strike V3 and you've been testing it, let me know in the comments below how it's been for you. I'm curious to know. Everyone here who's tried out so far loves it, and it's now mid-May, but moving into June, we're gonna have some more coming in, and already everyone who's tested it wanted one. So if you haven't got yours yet, make sure to check out your local dealer, wherever you might be, or if you're coming to Cabarete, let us know and we can get you one. But the Strike V3 is definitely an upgrade from any of the previous wings that have come out from F1. And if you've been considering getting one, consider no more, just get it. I'll leave you with the view of Cabarete. And as always, have a good day, guys.